All right, guys, welcome to the city of Brickside, our brand new city build. Really excited to share with you guys the name, but also everything that we've been up to. If you recall from the last city update video, we went through all of the brand new changes, including the new layout, the new tables, the new IKEA furniture that's going to help with storage, and kind of the plan moving forward with the city. We had some placeholder buildings, we had the start of the mountain, and we had a general idea of the layout that we wanted to at least start with. So this city update video is going to show you guys what we've done in the week since. It's been about 2 weeks. We have a couple updates to talk about with both the mountain and the city. And then we also want to show you guys what we've been up to on the organization side, because that is also taking up some of our time. So as mentioned, welcome to the city of Brickside. As you can see, we've made a ton of progress on the mountain. There's now a sign on there. There's now pretty good amount of trees and other foliage, and the monorail track has been built out much more substantially than it was just 2 weeks ago. So let's start with the mountain, because that is obviously the biggest, both in terms of size and hours dedicated update for this week. So I don't think I ever want to build a mountain again. This was incredibly tedious, but at the same time, I think it adds a really nice anchor to this end of the city. We used a few different techniques when putting this together. And so if you guys have ever been to California, you probably know that the mountains here, they kind of start with like little grassy and bushy areas down towards the bottom. And as you get up into the higher elevations, the pine trees and more of the colder forest begins. And so that's kind of what we tried to replicate here. Now, again, this new city is going to be somewhat of a custom city. It's not going to be based on anything in particular. We may scatter back in some of the LA city builds, and we may also kind of lean on Miami and Hawaii as inspiration as well, along with California. But for the mountain, we really wanted to kind of bring the transition of landscapes in California to this city. If you ever go out to like the San Bernardino area, you may, go to the national forest out there, and you'll see there's palm trees down at the base of the mountain. And then as you gradually go up the mountain, it gets colder and the trees get bigger. So the techniques that we used really big brick to kind of build the base of the mountain, and there's still work to be done. This is not how it's going to look finally, but you can see down here kind of the interlocking technique that we used, and then we went in with smaller plates to kind of smooth it and round it out. Obviously, a lot of that still needs to be done, but you can kind of see the shape that it's starting to take. And while we were building the mountain, we were also planning out where the new train is going to run. And you can see that we've already started to ballast it. We're using Bevan Brick's ballast track, which is great. It saves a lot of time. And then on top of that, we're doing tiling. Still a lot of work to be done there. But basically, it'll go through the mountain over there, which I'll show you in a second, come back out this side, and it'll lead over to this area of the city, which we'll talk about again in the future. The monorail, and what I'm really excited for, basically goes through the mountain, and then it comes back out, takes you around the city, and then over here, it'll take you down to this part of downtown. There's gonna be stations down here and stations at the other end of the city. All of that's still a work in progress, as you can see with all the construction crews. So on top of that, we added the Brickside sign, which was a lot of fun to add, kind of a play on Hollywood. And it uses brick-built letters. When you stand back, it really, it looks great. I mean, it came out better than I was honestly expecting. And against the greenery, it just looks super cool. Now, you may have also noticed from this angle that there's different pine trees on the back than on the front, and that's intentional. The reason why is because this side would get all the sun, and on the back side it would be colder and more of kind of the pine forest, which I'll show you guys in the future. We have stuff planned for back there that's gonna be super cool. But on this side, we also added a hiking trail, and the theory here is that the hikers would kind of start on the back side of the mountain, and the goal is to hike up the mountain into this little observation area, which is actually one of the towers over the monorail, to get a look at the sign. And that's kind of a play on the Hollywood sign hike. If you've ever done that, you can go up a hike in Hollywood and get pretty good views of the sign. So that was kind of the inspiration for this. It basically takes you up, walks you down, and then you're there in the little observation area. And what's fun is these were actually the very first minifigs we've added back to this new city. After that came all the construction guys, and that's what's going on down here. So the last few things about the mountain, then we're gonna move on. There is a tunnel going through for the road. So there's a lot of different access points. You got the monorail, you got the train, you got the tunnel for the road, train wraps back around, and the monorail kind of skirts along the base of the mountain, which is really cool. And on top of that, we're adding back palm trees. There's gonna be more of them. So it'll be a pretty tropical looking monorail experience. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on down here. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of construction going on. We did finish the train crossing from last week, so that's up now. And over here, you can see that we've added our curved road section. This is a free tutorial on our channel. Still being put in place, but it's honestly going to work really well because it's going to curve. And then I think we may do a curve back into this road, or we may take it through and have like buildings or a park in the middle. I don't know yet. We're still figuring that out. But it had a curve to follow the curve of the mountain. And then from down there, you can see we have the new crane that just came out, as well as the new excavator. That recently came out as well. Those are two of my favorite city sets of all time. They did a great job with those. We have a review for the excavator. We might do one for the crane. If you don't have them yet, definitely recommend. But from there, we move down to the downtown area, downtown core. These buildings are just placeholders. We're kind of playing around with different heights and just figuring out what we want to do down here. But it is kind of cool to see in contrast with the mountain and just have the city kind of come back to life. There is a lot of space for future buildings. So we're going to definitely build some new stuff. It's not just going to be the old buildings put in here. These are, again, just placeholders for now to kind of figure out the layout. And then we've also been working on a lot of the road work, which is still coming together. But as you can see, we've made a lot of progress. And then I did want to mention, if you guys don't already know, we are now selling kits. And pretty much everything you see in this video is a kit. That's a kit, that's a kit, that's a kit, that's a kit. That's a kit, that's a kit. This is a kit, this is a kit. All of which are in stock right now. And you may not be able to tell in the video because honestly, the bricks are so high quality, but these are all WeBrick builds. These are not Lego. These are all WeBrick. Even the Humvee and the tow truck. And what's cool is the flatbed actually works. So again, if you want to add these to your own city, they come with stickers and other cool little features. You can find them at custombrickkits.com. We just added the semi this week. We're getting more of these back in stock soon. We just added Prime. USPS is coming back in stock this week as well. And then we have a bunch of police vehicles, Humvees in stock, and other really cool builds. So definitely go check it out if you haven't yet. So down here, still obviously getting organized. It may still look like chaos, but we've actually made a ton of movement on this area. Let me show you. So for starters, we've made progress getting these drawers organized. And Miss AFOL TV has been spending a lot of time down here getting us organized, and she's doing a great job. So eventually, all of this up here will be either reintegrated or sorted and organized. And despite it looking like chaos, which it kind of is, we are making progress. And she's also been hard at work organizing the color part drawers, which are individually sorted by color. Saves a ton of time when you're building. Obviously it takes time to do, but highly worth it in the end. Now, this side of the city is new. It's a new walkway that we've never had before. So it's also going to allow us to build detail on this side, which is going to be great. Obviously, the monorail is going to come down through the core of the city, but this whole area is going to have space for building, which is awesome. And then this side of the mountain, as you can see, we have some stuff planned for over there. It's going to be really fun. The train comes out right here, continues its way around, and then there's more space for some builds right here next to the countryside. And again, really happy with how the mountain turned out so far. Obviously, we still need to smooth the hillsides, but if you look at it, I mean, it honestly, when the foliage is on top, it does work pretty well for smoothing it out. You can see like there's different variations in the slopes, and we try to make it as realistic as possible with different grooves going down the mountain. And then we added the radio antenna on top for a little extra added detail. So definitely a lot of work has been accomplished over the last 2 weeks. We've also been making kits, which has been taking time, but we have gotten a lot of building done. The roads are starting to come together. Vehicles are starting to come back, and the general layout is being figured out. Now that the mountain is finished, which was a mountain of work, no pun intended, we are now finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel to start building the rest of the city. So Lots of more updates to come soon. We're really excited with the progress so far. I hope you guys are too. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next video.